All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Look, if you're an Amazon seller or an SMB importing from China to the US, you already know your supply chain is literally your lifeblood. But did you know a single bad freight forwarder can completely wipe out an entire quarter's profit margin? Yeah, it's that serious. So today, we aren't just going to rehash standard shipping advice. We're going to build a rock-solid, transparent framework to help you evaluate and compare forwarders as we head into 2026. Because here's the reality for an SMB importer. You type China to USA freight forwarder into Google and boom, you are instantly bombarded by a million ads. And of course, every single one of them is swearing they are the cheapest, the fastest, and the absolute most reliable option out there. But how do you actually measure them against what you specifically need? Without a structured way to cut through all that marketing noise, you're risking your most valuable inventory with a partner who might fundamentally misunderstand the incredibly strict requirements of Amazon FBA. And this is exactly why relying on those generic top 10 lists is a massive trap. I mean, honestly, it's like picking a brain surgeon based on a high school popularity contest. A simple listicle usually ranks companies on their massive marketing budgets or sheer volume, not on whether they actually have, say, a dedicated FBA prep center. A transparent evaluation matrix, on the other hand, that's your shield. It gives you the power to actually grade potential partners on the exact technical capabilities your business needs to protect your cargo and your margins. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the top 10 list trap. Second, mastering customs and DDP. Third, FBA warehousing capabilities. Fourth, spotting hidden pricing models. And finally, matching your ideal use case. Okay, part 1, the top 10 list trap. Now, here is the critical mindset shift you have to make right now. Stop treating this like a popularity contest and start looking at actual logistics strategy. Think about it. When you use someone else's generic ranking, you're just inheriting their biases and their business models. And their model might look absolutely nothing like yours. An enterprise-level forwarder might be number one on some list for shipping, massive quantities of raw steel, but they might completely botch the highly specialized, high-touch needs of a growing Amazon seller. The landscape of China to USA freight forwarding is totally evolving, and preparing for 2026 demands that you evaluate your partners based on modern capabilities. The global supply chain today is completely unforgiving. Honestly, a forwarder operating like it's 2019 is a massive liability to you. You need a partner who's leveraging AI for dynamic routing, offering granular live tracking, and actively navigating those lightning-fast regulatory shifts that pretty much define modern trade. Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering Customs and DDP. So, DDP. It sounds incredibly convenient for Amazon FBA, right? It's basically the all-inclusive resort package of the shipping world. The forwarder handles the export from China, the ocean or air freight, the U.S. import clearance, the duties, and the final delivery. It's entirely done for you. But here is the major catch. Because they hold all the keys and handle literally everything, if they mess up a single piece of paperwork, it's your valuable inventory getting locked up in a customs warehouse. That's why you have to evaluate your forwarder on these very specific DDP shipping risks. If your forwarder gets a little lazy and misclassifies your product with the wrong HTS code, the Harmonized Tariff Schedule, your cargo doesn't just face a tiny delay. U.S. Customs can seize the whole shipment or slap you with a margin-destroying duty bill months after the fact. A top-tier partner proactively handles all this compliance legally and smoothly, using in-house customs brokerage way before that container vessel ever leaves the port in China. Which brings us to Section 3, FBA warehousing capabilities. Take a look at this step-by-step breakdown. This is exactly where a dedicated FBA forwarder truly proves their worth. Look, sure, any forwarder can consolidate your cargo in China and stick it on a boat, but Step 3, specialized FBA warehousing and prep, is where the amateurs get completely separated from the pros. Once your goods actually hit U.S. soil, does your forwarder have the physical facility to receive them, inspect them, palletize them to Amazon's notoriously rigid specs, and label them correctly? Proper physical warehousing capabilities here in the U.S. are absolutely non-negotiable for smooth FBA ops. Imagine this. Your shipment arrives at an Amazon fulfillment center on a pallet that happens to be just 2 inches too wide, or maybe it has a smudged barcode. Amazon's receiving team is ruthless. They will outright reject it, no questions asked. And then you're left paying to truck it all the way back to a third-party warehouse to rebuild it, relabel it, and ship it back in. It kills your time and eats your profits. Having built-in FBA warehousing support prevents these literal logistical nightmares from ever happening. All right, let's talk money in Section 4, spotting hidden pricing models. In the world of international logistics, the lowest initial quote is almost never the final price you end up paying. Look closely at that bottom row. CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. It is the ultimate Trojan horse of shipping. It looks incredibly cheap up front because it only gets your goods to the destination port. It's exactly like buying a budget airline ticket, and then they charge you for your bags, your seat, and a glass of water. Importers using CIF are constantly blinded by extortionate destination fees, terminal handling charges, and crazy document fees just to get their own goods released. DDP, however, offers high transparency and very low risk, assuming you picked a reliable partner. And here is a pro tip. Providing a target price to your forwarder isn't just about haggling. It's actually a secret weapon to force them to reveal their true routing costs, which completely eliminates freight fraud. It completely shifts the dynamic. A scammer is going to promise you an impossibly low rate just to win your business, and then hold your goods hostage for those hidden fees later. But a reputable, high-quality agent, they'll look at the target price you established from your market research and transparently explain exactly why it is or isn't achievable based on current sea or air freight rates. And finally, Section 5, matching your ideal use case. So you have the criteria now, it's time to actually apply it. Do not settle for good enough. Treat this specific matrix of top qualities as your absolute, non-negotiable baseline to protect your business. You want to demand transparent DDP pricing without that dangerous CIF trap. Make sure they actually have integrated FBA warehousing and final mile trucking. Verify their in-house customs expertise so your HTS codes are absolutely flawless. And honestly, heading into 2026, if they can't provide live tracking tech and crystal clear communication, just cross them right off your list. I want to leave you with this final, crucial thought to chew on today. Take a hard, honest look at your current logistics partner. Are they actively defending your Amazon FBA margins with flawless expert warehousing and totally transparent DDP pricing? Or are you just trusting your entire livelihood to a generic top 10 list? It's time to stop guessing, demand transparency, and take absolute control of your supply chain.